While it's had sort of a rocky release here in North America, the Valkyria Chronicles series is a personal favorite, and there's a new entry into the series called Valkyria Revolution. But is this truly a revolutionary title, or is this battle just another defeat? Valkyria Revolution is a spin-off and a prequel to the Valkyria Chronicles series, taking place about 100 years prior to the first game, in a small country known as Jutland, that is having a revolution that is very reminiscent and draws inspiration from the European Industrial Revolution, instead of the more World War II themed inspiration we saw in the other games. Valkyria Revolution is vastly different from the other Valkyria Chronicles games, mostly in its core gameplay, so if you're expecting something similar, you're not gonna get it here, which may put off a good amount of the fans. The game's story revolves around a rather large cast of characters that are dealing with this conflict. The story's themes still very much revolve around like death and war and why war is bad, though honestly it just felt like a bit disjointed and long-winded at times and never truly ended up pulling me in, but of course that's going to be up to a matter of opinion on whether or not you end up enjoying the story here. The core gameplay is an action RPG battle system, where you do have control of your small group of characters, can issue out commands, and have a handful of different things you're able to do, but for the most part it's going to be running around open areas and taking down enemy after enemy by mashing the X button. Outside of battle, there's a small hub town that you'll be able to interact with some of the other characters that are part of your group, and there's some side content to be happening here, as well as your shops, where you'll be able to commission new equipment using various materials, as well as upgrade your weaponry and your characters in general with the things that you're able to find during the course of battles. After story unfolds to a degree, you'll then jump into the war room and go to the next story mission or complete one of the various free side missions that you're able to do as well, which will accomplish certain goals, give you extra items, and of course boost experience. Most missions in the game revolve around taking down enemy bases or taking down a particular type of enemy. There are some more goals thrown into the mix, like setting up bombs, and sometimes you may have a team that's broken up into multiple groups, so you have to control different sets of them during the course of missions, so it's best to kind of get familiar with the various characters and their potential weaponry. Some characters are able to take out aerial enemies while other ones can't, and while you can issue commands for them to do it, it's usually much easier for just to take control of that particular character and get things done a lot faster. Before, during, and after most missions, there will be story that ends up happening, and the story is told from the perspective of a school teacher teaching a kid about the kind of unknown Jutland Revolution that happened, which is an interesting premise and allows you to even look at a glossary and other notes about what's been going on in the story as you're progressing through it. Though for the most part, like I mentioned before, the story is just okay. While a majority of normal battles really weren't all that interesting to me, the bosses did shine from time to time. These larger encounters against either a bigger group or against some of the tougher enemies in the game were one of the highlights for sure. While the voice acting for the most part was perfectly okay, the overall acting of the characters themselves and the models just seemed a bit off, sometimes very bland, and sometimes even the models didn't quite act right during the course of these cutscenes, which ended up taking me out of it. I also felt that there was way too much loading in the game. Going into a battle, thankfully there was only the one load screen, and then you're in the battle and you're able to do that, and unless a cutscene happens, there's no more loading until the battle's over. However, during cutscenes, you'll get a little bit of a scene, load screen, a little bit of a scene, so on and so forth, sometimes with 6 or 7 loads in one particular scene. From the technical side of things, the game ran fine for the most part, didn't run into major glitching, slowdown, or crashing. Valkyria Revolution is available now on the PlayStation 4 and Vita for $39.99, and it does have a full trophy list in Platinum. Overall, Valkyria Revolution is an okay action RPG, though with the shaky release schedule at best for the Valkyria series in general, it's a bit disappointing that we've seen this before an official release of Valkyria Chronicles 3. Though if you can look at this game as just a side entry in the series, you may be able to get some enjoyment out of it, though it's still not stellar even at its best. With everything said, I'm going to be giving Valkyria Revolution a 6 out of 10. But anyway guys, it's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course I hope you enjoyed.